Silhouette Studio has a ton of different tools that allow you to design your own files within the software, which is amazing, and that's typically what I teach on this channel. Today we're going in a little bit different direction, and we're going to talk about how to get your designs that you've created to look cohesive and intentional. We're going to talk about using different fonts and colors and spacing and alignment and all of the things that really pull a design together in the end. Hi, I'm Brenda Lambert. I'm a TJC licensed instructor for Silhouette. You found your way to Silhouette Success, and I do hope you join our little community. Now, today's video is a little bit shorter than my normal content, but you are going to want to stick around to the end and grab the freebie on the way out. The very first thing I do is choose a theme. For this sheet, I went full 80s, retro, neon colors, nostalgic text, slang words, all of it. A theme gives you a design container. It keeps you from wandering all over the place and ending up with a sheet that feels random. When you know the vibe, every decision becomes easier. Colors, fonts, shapes, even the attitude of the phrases. Starting with a bundled image set like this retro bundle makes that process even smoother. The bundle already gives me a built-in visual direction. The colors are already talking to each other, the style is consistent, and the overall vibe is unified. I don't have to reinvent the wheel. I just need to stick to the palette and the style cues that are already there, and that alone makes it so much easier to end up with something that feels intentional at the end. I actually started with a retro theme file from Creative Fabrica, and here's where licensing matters. I didn't recolor anything or change the shapes, but I did build on top of the artwork in a way that makes the original designs impossible to extract. I added my own text, outlines, offsets, layering, and composition, so the graphics became part of a new flattened design. And that's the key with Creative Fabrica's commercial license. You can use their graphics in products you sell as long as the original artwork cannot be pulled back out of your final design. It doesn't require recoloring or reshaping. It just requires that you're not reselling the artwork in a way that exposes the original file. But every designer and every marketplace can have different terms of use. Some require more modification, some require less, and some won't allow certain types of products at all. So always check the license from the specific seller you purchase from. Do not assume all licenses are the same. Next, I pick out my main icons. These are the anchors of the sheet, the pieces that set the tone and carry the theme. For this one, that meant roller skates, a cassette tape, floppy disk, Rubik's Cube, a game controller, all the things that instantly scream retro. Your base icons create visual weight. They're the pieces that your eye lands on first, so they need to be strong and recognizable. Now, color is where cohesion really happens. I picked a palette of about 6 colors: teal, pink, yellow, orange, blue, and I reuse them across the entire sheet. Repetition creates unity. Even if the shapes are wildly different, the shared colors make them feel like they belong together. I use the color picker constantly to pull colors from one sticker into another, and that is the easiest way to keep everything tied together. Then I move on to adding text. For the text that overlays the images, I brought in a few retro fonts, bold, playful, very much in the 80s universe, but I tied everything together using the same color palette and the same outline style. For the phrases I created from scratch, like bitchin' and duh, I used a bubble style font with an offset, and that doodle bubble look was everywhere in the 80s. So keeping those in one consistent style helps the sheet feel unified and era authentic. That's the trick with fonts. They don't all have to match, but they do need to feel like they belong in the same world. If a font doesn't fit the theme, the whole sheet will start to feel off. Next, I added in little confetti bits. We're talking stars, lightning bolts, zigzags. These tiny shapes fill the micro gaps and reinforce the theme without adding any more big designs. They're the sprinkles on top and they make the sheet feel generous and fun. I added these before creating any offsets because they're going to need outlines too. And getting all the design elements in place first means I can apply one consistent offset to everything at the end. Once everything is designed and set up properly, I start resizing. And here's the thing, there is no formula. It's all about rhythm. If everything is big, the sheet starts to feel crowded. If everything is small, it's going to feel empty. I resize until the sheet feels balanced, a mix of large icons, medium text pieces, and smaller accents. You want the eye to dance around the page. I also use smart snapping constantly. It helps me to align the stickers to each other, centers, edges, spacing, without guessing. Good alignment is invisible, but bad alignment is very noticeable. Smart snapping keeps everything tidy and intentional. Spacing is another very important part of a sticker sheet and it's often overlooked. So I want everything close enough to feel like it's a set, but not so close that the machine struggles to cut it. Tighten things up until the sheet feels visually full, but still breathable. This is where I nudge things around to create flow, diagonals, clusters, little pockets of space. Which brings me to one of the most important tools in Silhouette Studio for sticker designs, and that is the offset tool. Once all the icons, text, and confetti bits are in place, then I create the offset. Doing this at the end lets me select everything at once and apply a single consistent outline around every sticker. That consistency is going to make the whole sheet feel cohesive, same thickness, same style, no guessing. Offset also gives you clean cut lines, which makes your print and cut process smoother and more accurate. And be sure to group each image with its offset so that when you choose cut outline in the sun panel, the inside lines won't cut. Once everything feels balanced, the colors, the spacing, the sizing, that's when I know I'm done. And honestly, sometimes a sign that I'm done is that I'm just over it. If you hit that point, it's probably finished. The last final tip for today, if you are in the middle of creating a design in Silhouette Studio or anywhere really, and something feels a little bit off and you can't quite put your finger on it, just walk away for a little bit. Shut down your computer, do something else, take your mind off of it. When you come back at it and look at it with a fresh pair of eyes, you will see almost immediately what it is that was bothering you about the whole thing. I am going to upload my sticker design to my teaching site. You can head over to Podia and grab it for free. I will have it listed in the description. So I hope to see you over there, but in the meantime, go create something amazing from scratch in Silhouette Studio. I'll see you in the next video.